Hey, it's time for Week 5, Sunday edition. Cam Stewart, David Bastl with you. Let's start off in London, where the Bills will face the Jaguars. Jaguars actually stayed the week there, which is a little bit of an advantage there. Bills looking red hot, though. 3-0 in their last 3 starts, including a very impressive win against the Dolphins.
I got to tell you something, Dave. I don't know what the hell's going on. What have the Bills done to this league to give them a home game when Jacksonville's more of the home team there? You got to be honest, Dave. They were fantastic against the Dolphins. We hopped on the Jags. They needed to beat Atlanta. They did. But Jacksonville's been there, Dave, for a while. They played a lot better. I like what I saw to Trevor Lawrence in that spot. This is a very tricky trip for Buffalo. They're going to go in there and win the game, but I think the Jaguars cover. Asking them to win by more than 5.5, Dave, I'm going to take Bills, maybe by a late field goal, by 3. I'm taking the dog. I'm taking them in London.
These two teams 5-5 in their last 10, something to consider. Let's go on to Miami now. The Dolphins 11-point favorites against those lowly New York Giants. By the way, Daniel Jones sacked 11 times on Monday Night Football. What are we looking at in this spot?
I got to tell you, I usually come back to a team, but watching the Giants play, it sucks. People are blaming Daniel Jones. You know what? Joe Montana, the best quarterback, couldn't make a play with behind that line. I'm not saying Jones has been great. He's made bad mistakes, but Dable, you're the smart guy calling the plays. Seattle murdered you. By the way, Miami coming off that loss, Dave, they love to run up the score at home. I'm sorry. Dolphins might win this game by 27, 28 points. I know it's crazy. It's a big number, but I got to take the fish.
Yeah, I'm on board with that as well. I was looking at a 2-touchdown score, which would still be an easy cover for the Dolphins in this situation. So, but not really a favorite game of mine in week number 5. Let's move on to another game that I really don't like. It's the Saints and the Patriots. Patriots a couple point favorites right now. The Saints got blasted at home to the Bucks, and we know what happened to the Patriots in Dallas because it was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, we're on Dallas. They smoked them. But I got to be honest with you. I hate you, New Orleans. You cost me a holiday. I had such a great week, Dave, but they were in the back end of parlays, and Tampa Bay was up so much I couldn't get out of it. There was no hedge available. But this week, New England has significant injuries. New Orleans, I don't know what you're doing. And honestly, I'd love this game if Dennis Allen, he's another stooge. He's one of the worst coaches in football. I thought Winston would start last week. Carr looked awful. More Kamara. He's back. Give the ball to Kamara. Why aren't you dumping it off to him? I don't understand the Saints' game plan. But New England is so banged up, Dave. I'll take the Saints.
Yeah, it's
begrudgingly.
It's a small number as well, and maybe a get-right spot for the Saints in this situation. Moving on to a division rival. Ravens about 4.5-point favorites right now at Sports Interaction against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Last year, these two teams split the series. They usually split the series, too. They go back and forth. This is basically black and blue.
You told me, Dave, is there a downgrade from Kenny Pickett to Mitch Trubisky right now? Not much. But honestly, not much. No. The line's telling you, hey, we like the Ravens by 4.5. I'm going to take the silver and black because that was a horrible performance against Houston. Funny. C.J. Stroud might have been the best quarterback out of this young class, right? Richardson's good, but Stroud has been amazing. Let's give him some credit. He's helped out Houston, but here's the deal. Pittsburgh, off an embarrassing loss, they're going to come back and they're going to be ready to go. Tomlin will have them ready. I think this is a dogfight. I'll take the dog in Pittsburgh, getting 4.5.
Yeah, maybe an under as well between these two teams. It's kind of a somewhat likely situation. Panthers, Lions. Lions heavy favorites at SIA right now. 9-point favorites at home. By the way, Lions 3-1 against the Panthers in the last 4. Also 3-1 against the spread, but we've never seen a spread like this with the Lions and the Panthers.
You know what, Dave? I was thinking, got to take the points with Carolina. And then I thought, if not for Kirk Cousins and the pick 6 in that game, Minnesota came back and covered the 4.5. Carolina did nothing in that game offensively. Bryce Young is not ready for the NFL right now. Detroit, on the other hand, they're at home. I'm going to tell you, Dave, 9 seems like a lot. I think the Lions win this game by 14 points and cover the number. I want to take Carolina as a big pooch. I like their defense. Don't trust their offense. Lions. Double digits. Let's go. Restore the roar, baby. Yeah, in a battle of cats.
Keep on going. And speaking of cats, Panthers still looking for win number 1. They're not going to find it in the Motor City this weekend. Jets and Broncos. It's a late start. Broncos right now 1.5-point favorites at Sports Interaction. The number's actually been bought down from about 2.5. Money coming in on the Jets. A lot of people like what the Jets did on Sunday night against the Chiefs. Even though they lost, do they go to the Mile High City and get things right?
Worried about the line movement, Dave. I can't lie, but I love the Jets in this spot. Hey, NFL, why don't we screw the Jets just a little bit? Kansas City, everything. The Jets played great. They should have won the game outright, yet everybody's helping out Kansas City, a team that doesn't need help. I'm actually disgusted by this. I like the way the Jets played. You know what? Everybody's down on Wilson. Cut the kid some slack. He actually did pretty good in that game. They covered the number. Thank you for sliding, Mahomes. That's the only good thing I'm going to say. I'm so done with this Taylor Swift and all this crap about, honestly, Kansas City, like this team drives me nuts. Sorry, Chiefs fans. Give me the Jets against the Broncos. I don't care if Denver came back against Chicago. It doesn't matter to me. The Jets, they can cover with defense. I think the Broncos are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's move on with the one of two perfect teams on the schedule. Only two in the NFL. The Eagles are in Los Angeles, 4.5-point favorites. The thing that scares me about the Eagles is, okay, they're 4-0, but they are squeaking by teams.
Big time, Dave.
They're not covering numbers. It's not a huge number, but 4.5 tempts me to take the home side Rams in this spot.
Dave, it's one of those games the Eagles should roll, but you're right. It's like, I don't know what to do. The thing is, I'm going to take Philadelphia begrudgingly for a few reasons. They haven't played their best football. Yep. Washington could have beat them. It's time for Sirianni and the staff to say, listen, let's play Eagles football and stop screwing around with teams. It would start on the road against the Rams. I think they win by a touchdown, but that's a very interesting number. It almost seems too easy, and when it's too easy, it's tough, but I will take the Eagles. Fly, Eagle, fly.
Numbers are on your side. Since 2008, the Eagles are 5-1 against the Rams straight up, so something to consider there. Speaking of those beloved Kansas City Chiefs, they travel to Minnesota to face the Vikings. 5.5-point favorites right now at Sports Interaction. No Taylor Swift, by the way, because I know you were going to jump on that. Not expected to be in Minnesota.
Please don't show up.
But under the category of who cares, that would be it.
Who cares? They take her away in a popcorn machine so no one sees her. I'm hiding like a magician. Honestly, this is a bet out of spite. And I feel bad for your Jets because I wish they would win. I am taking the Minnesota Vikings plus the points, and I'm so tired of Kansas City getting every call. Listen, Minnesota showed me something a little bit, Dave. Yep. Cousins, he was bad at the start of that game versus Carolina, but they found a way to grind and come back, and the defense played a little bit better. I get it. Kansas City's explosive, but you could have made this line 6.5, 7. You know what? I think this is a good spot for Minnesota. I think they lose maybe by a late second flag, and then Kansas City in comes Butker to kick the winning field goal. I don't care. Just to win by more than 6. Give me the Vikings. Skol.
The Sports Interaction game of the weekend. Sunday Night Football. It's the 49ers hosting the Dallas Cowboys, an old classic rival. And two of the best teams, not only in the conference, but in the entire NFL.
Dave, what a game. This is top shelf here. I'll tell you, the 49ers, in my opinion, they're probably the best team in the league. If the Super Bowl was tomorrow, if you're looking at the teams the way they're playing, Buffalo and San Francisco would make a lot of sense to me. It would. But in this spot, I know the world's on San Francisco. They've been covering numbers. They're fantastic. As a Seattle fan, I give you a thumbs up. You're the best team in football right now. But you're laying 3.5. I think this is a big spot for the Dallas Cowboys. I worry about Prescott making a mistake, but I feel the world's going to be on San Francisco in this game, and I'm going to take the 3.5 points with the Dallas Cowboys and win by the hook. I see the Niners by like 3.
Okay, well, last time these two teams faced off was in the postseason. 49ers scored a 19-12 victory in a very, very tight game. Yes.